Quarter 4. The city of Detroit, they felt a feeling on Sunday night that took decades. No exaggeration there. With the Lions win over the Rams, they won their first playoff game in over 30 years. And fans, they took to the streets, swarmed Jared Goff's car, chanting, "He's the king of Detroit," even though his dad was driving the king. I don't know. It was like a cute little moment. But check this out as well. A Lions fan, Jeff Benjamin, this is a really heartwarming story. He shared this photo of his father. His father, a lifelong Lions fan who dyed his hair Honolulu blue, just like Mr. Blue Hair himself, Amon-Ra St. Brown. A lifeline fan just hoping for the best. Amon-Ra with a little blue heart, responding to the fans and getting excited for this game. Now, if Amon-Ra is potentially the Prince of Detroit, that's what I'm going to say, and Jared Goff's the king, then that would mean Dan Campbell would be the hand of the king. I'm trying to make it work here, but Dan Campbell, he spoke to the media earlier today.
I like that.
You know, I'm so much into the mode now, and I want us thinking it's the next one. And we got 3 left, and we got to go get this one right now. And so, you know, I think let's do everything we can to put a good game plan together. These guys where they can digest, be ready to go, good practice, and let's go get this one. And this is a better team than when we faced them. They're playing better football, and you know, but we're better too.
Yeah, and the Lions, of course, they're going to face Baker Mayfield, who did have a rough outing the last 2 times these teams saw each other. Back in Week 6, Mayfield, he threw an interception, had 0 touchdowns, but he spoke to the media today. And the playoff jabs, yeah, guys, they're starting up. He responded to some shade from C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and Mayfield had to say this.
I don't think he's really watched film because you mentioned Russell Gage. You know, we love Russell, but Russell hasn't played a snap all year for us. He must be going off the preseason stuff that the media was talking about, but he didn't play our first game, so I'm excited to see him. I think he's a really good player. He has been for a while, and he's been an impactful guy on every team he's been on. So he's a good player, but yeah, he's got to do a little bit more film study.
All right, slight shade. He also tried to give him his flowers as well, but the playoffs are heating up, and that means a little smack talk is probably good for the spirits. On a scale of 1 to 10, David, how much do you trust? Actually, I want to start with Emrob. How much do you trust Baker Mayfield going into this game against Detroit? I feel like you're going to have a hot take. That's why I want to start from here.
Okay.
I want to hear from you as well.
But you say trust him. Does this mean,
on a scale of 1 to 10?
On a scale, does this mean I'm making a pick of the game?
No. Just how much do you trust him?
Oh, yeah, I trust Baker like at a 7. All right, I trust him at a 7 with this team going up against the Detroit Lions in Detroit. You see all those qualifiers I put out there for you?
That's good.
And as long as he can find Mike Evans, I thought this was a misprint. 15 career games of 140-plus receiving yards. And hell, last week against this Philadelphia Eagles, he could have had 200 yards receiving if he would have caught the ball a little bit more. This dude is legit. If I'm Baker, every single time I drop back to throw a football pass, where's Mike Evans? Okay, if he's got 2 guys on him, okay, all right, now y'all shifted to him, and then now I'll find out somewhere else to go with the football. But it starts with the coverage dictator and Mike Evans. This dude is legit, and I don't know if the Detroit Lions have a guy that can go man-to-man against this guy. Baker Mayfield, find Mike Evans, please.
All right, 7 for him. What's your trust level?
Well, after watching that interview, it's an 11.
Yeah.
Like, that guy is on it. I mean, he came right back at CJ with some impressive fire. So for me, like, I always felt really good about Baker in this offense. 3rd down red zone, he's been great. He's pushed the ball vertical. Last week he was healthy. I think he got hurt versus New Orleans. He hurt his ribs. That kind of hurt him the week after, and then he had an ankle injury, but he was fresh and he looked healthy, and he was pushing it down the field. You mentioned it. Mike Evans could have had 200 yards in that game, had a couple drops. There were some plays in the Detroit game the first time they played where Mike was behind the coverage, ball got batted, a couple times they got pressure. That's going to be the key, really. If they can get pressure, the Detroit Lions can get pressure on him, because Philly was able to get some pressure on Baker as well. So if the offensive line doesn't hold up, you know, obviously I'm high on Baker, but the rest of the team has to show up. To your point, you got to have everybody show up, especially in Detroit. It's going to be hostile. It's going to be fired up. But, I mean, I love Baker Mayfield. I think he's playing great.
It also can't be overstated, Dave Canales, the offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
He's done a great job.
He has done a great job scheming things up, making sure he's moving Mike Evans around so that nobody can play man against him, or it's tough to play, or it's tough to double him.
He's doing a really good job.
Dave Canales, man, great job, brother.
Yep.
And you talked about that Philly game. Baker Mayfield's number, 337 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions against the Eagles. That's the first player in Bucs franchise history to have 300-plus passing yards and 3+ passing touchdowns in a playoff game.
Tom Brady played there.
Tom Brady didn't even do that. So, Baker, I don't know. Maybe take a bow.